Hi guys, Nada here from Techtesters and welcome to yet another Computex coverage video. Today we're going to talk about Gigabyte mostly, and what is most interesting to us is their gaming brand, so the Aorus branding. Now they were very active in three product categories this time around. The first one was obviously motherboards, so they released their new X570 motherboards. The second category was SSDs, and the third one was monitors. They released a few gaming monitors this Computex as well. So they made sure we take a good look at these new products, so let me tell you all about them. Let's go. I would like to thank Cooler Mater and Gigabyte Aorus for making our Computex coverage possible. Before I jump into the new products and all the details, I'm going to tell you about the whole experience we had with Gigabyte this Computex. First, we went to their headquarters, which is in Taipei, and we had a little closed session with all the product developers where they kind of presented their new products. And we also got some time to ask questions now about the new products or just, the regular bitch about software. But I have to say that they were very open about it, and we had a very constructive conversation about what can be improved with some ideas and details. So I'm quite curious and quite excited to see if they're going to take our feedback and implement it in their new software. We also got a tour of the headquarters and saw part of their testing process. Now, some parts were off limits, which is understandable, but we did get to watch their robot go through memory validation, and that was very cool and very mesmerizing to see. They also let us in on their little secret garden on top of the building, where many workers stop by during their break to, clear their minds and just look at some green. And I have to say that many buildings in Taipei actually have that little green spot on top of the buildings, which is a very nice little escape from that urban busyness of Taipei. That evening, we attended the official release of the products as well, with very interesting speeches from the people working for Gigabyte as well as their partners from AMD and Phison, and they finished it off with releasing and officially presenting their new Aorus X570 lineup, their new SSDs, and their new monitors. When it comes to motherboards, their Aorus Extreme was pretty much the star of the show. A very heavy, all-metal motherboard with over 85% of its surface covered by some kind of a heatsink. Now, they promise incredible thermal results and power delivery with this flagship motherboard, but besides the Extreme, they also released the regular lineup, so they have the Aorus Master, Aorus Ultra, Aorus Pro, and Pro ITX. I've already made a dedicated AMD video with all the X570 motherboards we've seen at Computex, so I'm not going to go into details right now. I am going to leave a little link down below if you want to go and check it out. But the bottom line is, when it comes to Aorus motherboards, they all have improved VRMs and they all have the PCI-Express Gen 4, which offers more bandwidth and greater speeds. To make use of that, Aorus released their new Gen 4 NVMe SSDs, and the first one of those is the Aorus AIC Gen 4, or as they call it, the world's fastest SSD. It is made of 4 Gen 4 SSDs, each running at 4 times speed, completely saturating the 16 PCIe lanes on the motherboard. Now, all that is covered with a huge heatsink to keep it cool, and on top of that is a cover with a fan. In the result, this new Gen 4 SSD is supposed to be 4 times faster than the previous generation AIC SSD. For people that don't need that capacity or speed, they also released their Gen 4 NVMe M.2 SSD. That is completely covered with a copper heatsink, and it's supposed to be around 40% faster than the previous generation one. They're going to release this SSD in a capacity of 1 terabyte and 2 terabytes to begin with, but they did say they're going to release smaller ones in the future as well. Now, marketing-wise, they are aiming this SSD at gamers. And I'm not sure how much of an impact this 40% increase will actually have on gaming. That is something that we need to see when we get the SSD here in the office and we actually do some testing. But I know that it will impact those creative professionals that have daily heavy workloads. So that is a great thing, because faster SSDs in that particular thing are always better. Last in line with the new tactical gaming monitors. Now, if the word tactical still induces a cringe, what they mean by that is that the monitors have a lot of features that are there to improve your gaming experience. Some contrast enhancers, for example, or an on-screen crosshair. First, they released KD25F, which has an FPS focus. It is a 25-inch Full HD monitor with a TN panel, 240Hz refresh rate, 0.5 response time, and a FreeSync technology. They also released the CV27Q and CV27F, which are curved 27-inch monitors with a VA panel. They are more focused on AAA games. So they have 165Hz refresh rate, 1 millisecond response time. They're also FreeSync monitors, but they also have HDR. The only difference between the two is the resolution, so the CV27F is a Full HD screen, while the CV27Q is a Quad HD screen. Aside from the big launches, Gigabyte also showcased some other new parts, like their first all-in-one water cooling featuring RGB fan, an RGB pump, and an OLED display, as well as some new memory modules that go up to 4800 MHz. Now, my personal favorite was their store display in the business area that can read your age and mood, and let's say that was Stefan's least favorite one. One of the best parts of Computex was, of course, that we finally got to see some OLED laptops in action, and one of them was Gigabyte's Aero 15 OLED edition. I can't wait to actually test this laptop for myself to see how it will handle some PC challenges, like burn-in, for example. But I have to say that the colors and black values of the 4K Samsung AMOLED display really do look a ton better than the typical LCD panels. So I'm very, very excited about this one. Now, that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. One last huge thanks to Gigabyte and Aorus for making our Computex coverage possible. Now, see you in the next one. Bye!